Okay, so here we are inside a property detail screen. Let's have a little look through this screen and just see what we're looking at. So we've got the first part up here, which is just the basic information around the property, the address, whether it's sales or lettings, what the market appraisal status currently is with this property, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, receptions, what we valued the property at, the type, i.e. house, flat, that sort of stuff, terrace, detached, all the sort of basic information around the property, who the two vendors are. I could click on one of those vendors to get straight to the contact profile. And over here we've got a sticky note. Again, just like the contact screen, this is a note that just stays up the top here in case there's anything very specific we need people to know as soon as they hit this screen. The market appraisal status you can actually edit by clicking on it up here. And I just want to cover briefly how market appraisal statuses work, because they can be a little bit confusing on the basis that, again, we're trying to build a data system here, so it's quite important you follow a specific process when updating the statuses. So if we look at this one, we can see that the first status this property had was an appointment booked to do a market appraisal. The second status was a proposal not sent, and the third status was proposal sent. Those three things probably happen pretty much automatically as you're booking in the appointment and turning it into a market appraisal and sending it to the vendor. The next thing that happened was that the market appraisal status got changed to instructed us, and you can see the date that happened here. Then after that, the status got changed to SSTC with us, and that's what the status currently is at the moment. Now, let's supposing that actually I just haven't really stayed on top of this, and since I last updated this status, the property has, the sale had fallen through, and they'd instructed another agent, and they're now SSTC with that other agent. So I want to change this status here. When I click this, we can see that there isn't actually the option to go SSTC with another agent. It's not showing. The reason it's not showing is that in order to go SSTC with another agent, first of all, they had to instruct the other agent, because we need to know all of the steps. It's going to come in useful at some point. Remember, we're trying to build a pattern, we're trying to build a system. So you can't just go from, say, proposal sent straight to completed with us. There's a number of steps in between. Now, you can't have a baby without first being pregnant. So try to think of it like that. If there's something not showing in your status list, it's probably because there's a stage or stages before the one that you need to get to. So for this particular one, for this particular property, I'd first go, actually they went from SSTC with us to instructing a competitor, and then I can put the note in here saying the sale, our sale fell through and they withdrew the property and put it on the market with X agent, right? And then I can change the status, so we can now see, oh, look at the pattern. It went from the appointment to instructed us, SSTC with us, then they instructed a competitor, and now that I have that status, I can now choose SSTC with competitor. Okay, I didn't need to put any notes in, and you can start to see everything building up here in terms of the history. What we don't want to do is allow people to just go straight from one stage to straight from proposal sent to SSTC with competitor without the bits in between, and hopefully the right rough date as to when those things actually happened. So that's statuses, and you update the status by clicking on it here. If we look at the bottom half of the screen here, you've got the timeline, so we can see things that have happened in this to this property. You've got the details of the appointment from when we first went out to see the person. So these are the two contacts which I can get to by clicking on them. Here's the property information, and in here is any of the questions that they answered when we were booking the appointment, based around the things that they want and don't want from us. You've got the market appraisal information. So in here, we can see again the contact information, we can see the property information, but we can also see the valuation information. If I wanted to change any of this, actually the price has changed, or I'm going to put a guide from minimum to maximum, change the fee, change it from a percentage to a fixed fee, change the duration of the agreement. All of that information is sitting in valuation information. Comparable properties, I could load some properties in here if I wanted to add any comparables. The frequently asked questions that are showing on their market appraisal are sitting here. So if I wanted to add a question that specifically shows on this person's market appraisal presentation, but only for them, I could do that here. And then we've got the marketing plan and the overview text for their presentation as well. And down the bottom here would list any questions that client has specifically asked you from their market appraisal, because there's a function on it whereby they can click a button to ask you a question, fill it out and submit it, and they would show here. Other profiles, I wouldn't worry too much about this at the moment. Over the years, this might start to build up, as in here, if we click on this little eye, which shows you the information on it, in here, it starts to show you other profiles that you have linked with this property. So maybe over the course of 5 years, you might have sold this property twice. In here, it will show you the history of people that owned it before, or, you know, other stuff that relates specifically to that property. And that pretty much sums up the property profile section.